All right, so we went
Delved.
into watching some of the interviews you've done already to learn a little bit more about you that we didn't already know.
All right.
Completely familiar with the work, obviously, but not so much with the person. So, what we were wondering is, you don't talk a whole lot about what you really kind of nerd out for outside of you're wearing a Star Trek shirt, and we know you like anime movies. So, what other types of things have you nerded out for in your life?
I am a nerd for Supreme Court oral arguments
Oh,
and
nice.
Ooh, love it.
for ultralight hiking
Yeah.
and all things fringe and conspiracy. I love conspiracy theories. They're my favorite.
Conspiracy theories are
man.
awesome. I don't subscribe to most of them, but it is so fun going down that YouTube hole.
Oh man, there's that's a whole deep. That's like going onto the Marvel wiki and I don't recognize this guy and opening up a new tab, and you end up with like 35 tabs open, but it's conspiracy theories. Yeah.
Constantly.
Are you like, do you subscribe to like the reptilians sort of?
I've never, when it comes to reptilians, I've never met one. But if I did, I would be nice to them.
Well,
because
you
other
might have,
entities.
you just don't know.
Right. I don't know how good their cloaking tech is.
So,
it's true. This is true.
So as a dad, you have the last I checked.
I nerd out for being dads. Yeah, I'm a dad. I like being a parent. I work hard at that for sure.
Yeah, we enjoy it too.
So with your voice acting career, is there anything in your career that you've done that you hope your kids never find?
Well, I hope they still love me after watching Full Metal Alchemist and seeing, spoiler, what I do to Nina.
Oh, have they still not seen that?
Tucker. No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
That's not true. That's not true. My son Max has.
Okay.
That's pretty.
I'm not sure
my
about the older
memes
ones
of all time.
It's got some really great memes.
Yes.
I went uncredited and a couple. I did, like, when you're up there at Funimation, they're like, "Can you come in and do, bits on this show?" And I'm like, I don't want to be in this show. And they're like, "We won't credit your name. Can you just be Soldier A for this terrible, horrible show?" And you're like, "Okay, I'll come in and grunt or whatever you need me to do." So those wouldn't bother me too much. I suppose the one that would shock them the most would be Shin Chan.
Right.
There are episodes of Shin Chan that probably will never air again in this culture ever.
No. I actually
they are
started delving down into that again last night, and it was like 2 a.m. and I couldn't get past the first episode because I was afraid I was going to wake up my son and my wife.
It's I like it. I like the show. It went a little too far. It's the only show I've ever done where I refused to say a line. Where I was like, I'm not going to say that. I'm just not going to say that. I'm not going to say. And it was unintentional. I think it was unintentional on the writer's part. But sometimes we have viewpoints or views or things that are embedded us that we have no control over, that were put in there before we were conscious. And then we just, like a robot, continue with a certain belief. And this line seemed unconsciously racist. And I was like, I cannot say this unconsciously racist. And so I made them change it. And of course it was Zach and Peter up at Funimation, and those guys are great. And so, yeah, of course they were willing to roll with it. But yeah, it was, that was a bad line. I didn't say it. But there were lots of bad lines in Shin Chan.
There were lots of bad lines.
There's an episode where we hide a murdered clown in a closet, I think. And like that whole storyline was never part of the original episode. That was them writing on top of the episode a murdered clown being hidden in the closet.
Oh geez.
And then we were gonna go bury the clown in the desert or something.
Oh shit. So you've done as a lot of, I guess, anime voice actors tend to do, play a lot of nameless characters. And so, like, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Boy and the Beast, where you play Cuta's father, which is a nameless character, but in no means insignificant to the storyline. So what I was wondering, do you ever give those characters names to yourself? Do you ever
I name every nameless character as Todd Habercorn.
That's
So
a good one.
Kyuta's father
Yeah.
is Todd Haberkorn. I don't know why. I alternate between like Eric Vale, Chris Sabat, Todd Haberkorn, Matthew Murray. I name them all the big ones, all the big guys.
As they deserve. As they
That would be
deserve.
funny. Soldier A is Travis Willingham.
Do they
I'm gonna start doing that. That's
just
the new. That's the new.
take control of your IMDb and just start changing the names in IMDb?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll do your bit part in the show, but you have to rename the character Travis Willingham. Even though he's just a janitor, I just want the credits to say Travis Willingham by Chuck Huber.
When I was doing music,
That'd be great.
I pitched to the band naming one of our songs Aerosmith's Sweet Emotion, and that would be the name of the song. Technically not copyright infringement.
I don't know. You go after the big guys, they can shut you down just by hitting you with the lawsuit. I like that idea. Someone should test that.
I'm a thinker.
Me too.
So most of the voice actors we've talked to, when we ask them about their voices, they very much talk about, they step up to the mic, they get their reference clip and what have you, and then they slip into character. From watching a lot of your interactions with fans, it seems like those characters live a little deeper inside of you. Like you slip in and out of character quite a bit. Is that difficult for you to keep separate in your head?
No, I mean, because I don't keep it separate in my head. I keep it separate in my body. Each character has sort of a physical imprint on me that
okay.
So I physicalize it, and that allows me to be conscious of what they're sounding like and who they are and where they come from. So I'm a big fan of working physically when it comes to creating voices. I think what you do with your body will be understood or heard within the voice. I think that's absolutely a true process for acting, for sure.
Definitely. So do you find yourself like, physically acting out the scenes as you're recording the voices?
Oh yeah, to some extent. I mean, you're not fully extending through punches or physicality. You're kind of feeling the physicality underneath the structure so that you can sort of indicate to your body what you're going through.
Right.
Okay.
Have you ever hit the mic doing that?
Oh yeah. I think all of us at some point have knocked the mic silly, and these are like $2,000 mics. So you always feel bad when you do, but it's just part of the deal.
That's fair.
Actors are children. We break stuff. We step on stuff. We move. We're not concerned about the stuff around us. We're just concerned about the moment.
Right. So this one's kind of a selfish question. What type of music do you listen to? What are you into?
Let's see. Recently, I've been listening to Natalia Lafourcade, who's a Mexican singer-songwriter, and she's apparently very famous, but I discover her and I think she's an indie artist, so I have to listen to all her stuff. She's super famous, and but I'd never heard of her till I found her. So it's like this magical disguise. I almost yelled at the internet. I was like, "Where did you hide her, internet? I should have known about her before now." I find a lot of music. I go old school, and then I do B-side old school, like 80s, 90s stuff. The sort of techno stuff that was coming up back then, and the dance stuff, and then like the sort of the popular stuff. I always go back to like REM and U2. I like, well, not U2 so much, REM a lot more.
Yeah.
I like I like world music a lot of time. Like for a while I was getting into Ravi Shankar and some just really jamming out on the ragas and the sitar music. And, trying to understand the music, and then you get it, and then you're like, oh wow, this is really amazing and interesting and fun to listen to.
And his daughters are pretty talented too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The apple doesn't far fall from the tree. But when you're immersed like that in the culture of music growing up, you have to have a leg up on everybody else, whether it's just informational or just seeing it or hearing how it's made. You get to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
If you have a parent. I told my son Max, I was like, dude, I'm getting old. Nobody's an actor. Android 17 is probably going to go on forever. You should take some acting classes, and in 4 years, when you're 18, you know, maybe 20, when your voice is completely changed, you can take over, and I'll retire. Go be young Android 17 again for.
Yeah. How long do you think these characters will last? Because you think about the, Porky Pig and Daffy
Right.
Duck, and
No,
I mean,
it's
getting
go
close
on
to
forever.
100 years for them, and
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z anime is a little bit newer in the way that we know it from the TV series in the 90s.
Well, it's 30. I mean, if you think about it, it's 30 years old now already.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, DBZ is 20, 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You start from when it aired in Japan. So, you know, saying Porky Pig is 100 years old, you're only a quarter off that. So we got to assume it's going to go another 75.
Right.
Well,
Well,
if the way Akira Toriyama and the manga is going, I can definitely see that going for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
and why would you stop? You have a responsibility to all these artists and all these people who've become part of the machine that creates this wonderful thing that people still love. You know, why would you stop making Mickey Mouse or Porky Pig or Goku? You know, why stop? It's you created a thing, and there's, it's not only the people who actually work on the show, but all the ancillary things. There's people who have restaurants themed around it. There's conventions, there's stuff that people sell and make. So like, when you're an artist and you create something that catches fire like that, you suddenly have a responsibility to continue it for the people that depend on it for their livelihoods.
right.
definitely. So, in some of the other interviews, you've talked about like your healthy habits, your hiking, your working out.
Sure.
One of the things I kind of noted and I kind of, thought about doing but decided it wasn't worth it is putting like push-ups before something you enjoy.
Right.
So you said in one of the past interviews that you were up to 50 push-ups before a cup of coffee.
Right.
How long until you reach the power of One Punch Man?
That's funny that you say that, because I've since revamped. Not revamped, but sort of adjusted the subroutine. Because subroutine is you pick something you can't skip, like coffee, and then you add something before it that you want to add to your life, and you make whatever you add before it super easy. So you start with, like I started with 8 push-ups and before a cup of coffee. That's all I could do at the time. And now I'm up to like 50 push-ups 3 times a day for 3 cups of coffee. I've actually switched it. I was up to that for a while, and then I added a bunch of other exercises in a really interesting way. I'm a big fan of the human superpower. What I've been taught through hiking is that the human superpower is the ability to take one step after the other in a direction. That's it. That's how we became the dominant species on the planet, because we could walk towards herds of animals and they would tire out, and then we could stab them with sticks and eat them.
Yeah.
So we became the dominant dominant animal on the planet. So I took that idea, because I'm 49, and I was like, how long until I turn 50? And it was 230 days. And I was like, wow, I've only got 230 days till I turn 50. And I really didn't feel like I was meeting my expectation for my sort of fitness goals, my training goals. And so I retooled it, and I started saying, well, if I did something for 1 second today and just added 1 second every single day up until my 50th birthday, what would I be at on my 50th birthday? And I started, some of the things I started at, like abs, I'll be up to 6 minutes of planking and abs. I'll be up to a 4-minute dead hang. I'll be doing 230 push-ups a day. I'll be doing 230 kettlebell swings. I'm up to 40 already. I'll be doing 1.5 miles in my pool, which I was a drowner. I was a big drowner before I started this. I was not a swimmer. Yeah. And so I started with a single lap and then just added 1 lap a day. And so as I'm progressing because it's real simple. If you can do something for 1 second today and 2 seconds tomorrow, if you wait an entire year, that's 6 minutes. So how many of us have had ideas of like, I want to change myself physically? And when you commit to the habit of just increasing it by 1 second, knowing that this time next year, you'll be able to do that for 6 minutes. That's kind of powerful because it's really, really easy for a while. And then it starts to get harder. But like dead hangs and headstands and handstands, I'll be doing a 4-minute handstand on my 50th birthday, a 4-minute handstand. At least I think I will. There may be some plateau that happens where it's like, no, you can't do it. But so far I've been able to increase, because if you can do it 60 seconds, why can't you do it 61? And why can't you just keep increasing that? So that's been the new hotness that I've been working with. It's been kind of fun.
I started doing that. I added 10 push-ups before a cup of coffee, and after a week, I quit drinking coffee. So I start adding things to all my addictions.
That's perfect. I like that. That's the reverse of it. Yeah. Before I do heroin, I have to climb a mountain. Forget
just
the
not
heroin.
worth it, man. Just not worth
It's
it.
just not worth it. It's not worth it. I used to talk about, like, for a food thing, you can eat whatever you want. Just eat an apple or a carrot first. Like, that's one of the things I coach people on. I'm like, don't change your habits. Add to your habits. Your habits are strong. They're algorithmically perfect. You've developed them through this incredible, intelligence that we have. So don't try to break them down and change them. Just add to them and transform them. It's much easier that way.
Yeah, well, like you said, that a lot of people preach everything's good in moderation. I kind of like that a little better, because not everything is good in moderation. Some things are quite bad, even with moderation. Like heroin, for example.
Heroin's hard to moderate, for sure.
Probably not great.
No. Lots of the drugs. But it's interesting because the rat park study, they had cocaine for these rats. And if the rats were in crappy cages, they became cocaine addicts. But if they were in amazing cages with tons of fun rat stuff to do, they like tried the cocaine, and then they're like, forget that. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then they just didn't do the cocaine. So I always talk about like drug addiction in terms of what park are the people who are addicted to drugs stuck in, and how do we get them in a new park. I spent a lot of time teaching incarcerated drug addicts in a intensive rehab program, teaching acting, teaching them how to refocus their face, to change the way they use their face and change the way they saw themselves. And we did a bunch of improv stuff. But change your park, make your park a nicer park.
See, that's a nice way to look at it, man.
Absolutely.
So one of the questions that most people seem to get a kick out of that we ask is wondering what voice actors that are up and coming that you kind of want to think people should be looking out for.
Up and coming voice actors. Well, Melissa Medina and Luis Bermudez just both won the Now Voice This contest, number 6, and they're both doing really good after it. So that's always fun when someone who wins the online voice acting competition thing I do, and then they continue to be successful afterwards.
Right.
That's always fun. Damon Mills has been around for a while now, but he was one early on. I was like, oh, this kid's really good. He did this Russian accent for, I forget, Yuri on Ice maybe. And I was like, he's younger me. I was like, oh, damn, he's getting all those roles. And you kind of go, well, I guess I'm the older guy now. And you have to kind of relinquish your 20s to the young people.
It's okay. You'll always have Shao.
That's true.
I don't think anybody wants to take that from you.
No, nobody wants it. It's true. Don't make me take it.
With the characters that you play, do you prefer level-headed characters like Android 17 or Hiei, or over-the-top crazy characters like Emperor Pilaf and Hiro?
I like them all. I like a variety of things. If all I did was Emperor Pilaf's, I would get tired. That would wear me out really quick. And if all I did was, Android 17 is kind of an exception, but Android 17 is very chill. If all I did were chill characters, then I'd probably feel like I was chomping at the bit. So I like the mixture of them. I like to be able to do both.
What's your favorite Shakespeare play to act in? Probably which one to act in and which one to watch, because it might be different.
It's tough. I've seen a lot of really good Shakespeare. I've been in a lot of really good Shakespeare. The last one I did was I played Petruchio in Taming of the Shrew.
Nice.
That was amazing. I played Bassanio in Merchant of Venice. I did a Mackers. I was Bolingbroke in Richard II. I was Laertes in Hamlet. Also the Player Queen, for which I got to cross-dress, which is very difficult. I don't know. I love them all. I suppose it'd be one I have. Merry Wives of Windsor. I did. Merchant of Venice. They're all good. I suppose it'd have to be one I haven't done yet. Like I'd really love to do. I played Bolingbroke in Richard II, but I think I'd like. I'm old enough now to play Richard II himself. I think that's a role I could really do some killer work in. As far as watching it, a really good production of Midsummer like almost can never fail. So any of the comedies when they're done really well are so fun, so much fun.
For sure.
Definitely. So we are going to be airing this in December. We had to push you back. I'm sorry.
What?
How dare?
How dare you?
So one of the things that I personally want to know is what do you and the family enjoy doing during the holidays?
It's just the regular stuff, eating food and playing games. They just got me into Among Us and Jackbox, so we started playing those games.
So what you're telling us,
both of those are fun,
is Chuck Huber is super sus.
Oh, I'm very sus. I am as sus as it comes. That's for sure. I don't think anyone would argue with you on that. So yeah, we play games, we do puzzles, we go for walks, we sometimes go camping. We do lots of family stuff. Build things. I'm building a shed right now. It's very exciting.
Oh yeah,
I love building stuff. So yeah, I'm totally down with that.
That's good. That's good.
So with that, you obviously you play a little bit of video games at least. Do you have any like favorites that you do, or?
My favorite is longer form Spider-Man. I'm still finishing up Spider-Man.
Oh, that's so
about
good.
73%, and I really need a weekend where my wife doesn't schedule things for me so that I can play. We got a busy weekend this weekend. There's like a birthday party and some people coming over, and I'm like, I want to lay down and be lazy. And she's like, we're going to have social interaction. And I'm like, that's hard.
But I want to be Spider-Man.
That's right. That's right. And I do play Fortnite. Fortnite's my go-to. Like on the daily, I'll at least get one. I usually get almost every day I get a game in. And the reason I like Fortnite is because you can have a full gaming experience in 15, 12, 15, 20 minutes. You can feel what and then you can set it down and move on with your life, because you pull out like Breath of the Wild and put 20 minutes in on it, and you're like,
you feel like you've done
come
nothing.
back 20 minutes later, you've done it's it.
Like I could do that in real life. Why am I doing it here?
Right. Yeah, precisely. Oh, I thought about Breath of the Wild so hard when I did a solo of the Beaten Path, and I was like, I'd love to be able to just flip out my glider and glide down this mountain so I wouldn't have to walk anymore. I was like, that'd be so dope. It'd be so much fun. And thermals really rose me up that high. I think about Breath of the Wild a lot while hiking.
Well, it's a beautiful game. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it is. I've watched my children play it. That's part of the thing, is that when you have kids and you got the longer form games like that, I usually enjoy watching them play it, so I don't get to play it. I watched my daughter play through most of Spider-Man. And then she finished it, and so I'm just left with the last. I didn't watch her play the last 25% or whatever. So.
Oh, good. It's a fantastic game. I've played through it twice because I had to get all the trophies. So I'm very excited for Miles Morales coming out.
That's gonna be cool.
I'm hyped for that. So
as a dad, I don't play video games so much as I just do boss battles when they get really tough.
Right.
I've got sort of clips of each video game. I know what happens an hour in, 2 hours in, but I don't have the full picture of any video game anymore.
See, my son's a little too young yet. He's not quite 4, so he's not into the games, playing them. But I'll start playing something. Like, for example, right now I'm playing through Digimon, and I'll start playing it, and if I get busy or something comes up and I have to get up, and he's like, "Dad, play the game," and starts yelling at me to play it. I'm like, "Okay, son, fine. I'll tell your mom it was your fault."
That's right. That's right.
This is why the dishes didn't get done.
That's exactly correct. I was being a good father.
That's right.
That's all we can do.
So if you could pick one profession out of everything that you've done, because you've done a lot. Last I heard, you were thinking of going back to law school.
Yeah, I got a scholarship to law school, and I was literally enrolled. I'd signed all my paperwork. I had started the sort of, they had some pre-test type things and stuff to say. That I knew all the other people in my class, and then the house we wanted opened up, and so we had to buy it and move. And I was like, I don't think I can move and do first year law so I put it off, which was kind of, I was sad at first, but it was obviously COVID would have hit mid first year law. And then it was also, it was a law school. It's online law school, the only bar terminating a law degree that's mostly online. 10 days on campus, but on campus would have been Minneapolis too. So I would have been going straight into difficult times in Minneapolis. It would have been, I don't know. So I'm glad I put it off, but I will probably, maybe I'll revisit it sometime. I don't know. It's still something I very much enjoy.
What will you do after that if you do pass the bar and legally be able to argue with people?
Primarily, it's very niche. It's very niche what I want to do. There's a Title 4D Section 458 of the Social Security Act incentivizes the states through grant money to collect as much child support as they can. So there's these giant $500 million in federal grant money that comes to the states based on simply the number, the tally, the amount of money they collect in child support. So there's a great incentive to have disequal custody in family court, because if it's equal custody, there's no child support. And so they lose out on their grant money. So it's an unintended consequence. So like my first thing I was pointed at was to see if there was some way to tally that, to tally any 50-50 custody in towards that grant accrual. So like you'd take an average of something, so that if you did award equal custody to parents, it could count in a strong way towards this grant money that the states all get for this collection system. So it's a way of trying to undo the unintended consequence, because it's the family court is, it's a different animal. It's not regular law.
Right.
That's a pretty
it's
noble
still lying,
cause.
but yeah, it's a thing. And then there are a bunch of other ones, a bunch of other things I was looking at doing, but it would mostly be intellectual stuff like that. I would, probably pick cases that I thought could make certain points valid, and then work on individual cases and on that basis. But mostly it would have been family law for sure.
Nice.
Gotcha. So with all of those different roles, potentially in the future, passing the bar and everything that you've done in the past, if you had to give up voice acting right now, what would you pick to do?
Well,
what would be the main source of income?
Construction, right?
Yeah, well, I've done construction, and I still can do construction. And it's something that, if it all falls apart, I could start taking bids tomorrow and make some stuff happen for my family.
Yeah, I do my research.
Yeah, I can tell. I teach online, so that's a primary source of income right now, and I've sort of ramped it up since the conventions all went away. Probably some combination of teaching and writing and film, creating things. I'd still be making things, but just not voice acting anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much do exactly what I'm doing now. Because there are times in your life as an actor where voice acting kind of disappears for a while.
Yeah.
For there was a break in my Funimation career where I wasn't really used for like a year and a half, so I had to do something else. And then there was a period where I lived out of town and I didn't get used and kind of had to get back into the corral. But yeah, so we already know most actors already know what they would do. They would just do more of the other things that we do to make our make ends meet.
Fair enough.
But I wouldn't mind construction. Construction's kind of fun. It can be painful, but I'm smarter now and would have other people doing the harder
You
parts.
could be a foreman.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, that's right. I'd be a project manager probably. I'd probably be like
Walk
budgets
around with the clipboard
sheets.
and
Yep.
know.
Have you done some of these online conventions this year?
Yeah, I've done a couple of those. I don't the interaction it's not the same. It's still
Right.
I still miss the actual conventions. There's a feel to them. There's a community.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that things can get back to normal. I'm hoping Christmas. I'm hoping everybody has a really nice Christmas and we all just get to have a wonderful new year and say goodbye to 2020 and never have to think about it again.
Yes.
It's been amazing. I mean, it is fun to live through history because it's exciting. It's dramatic.
Yeah.
You would likely, if you were going back in time, you would go to some dramatic moment, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the end of World War II, the assassination of Kennedy. You'd probably want to live through a historical experience, but that's just visiting. If you had to go back and live, you would probably pick like the most boring time where there were no wars, and you'd be like, let me just I like solid economics and low inflation. Just let me and my family live in peace. That's probably what I'd do.
Yeah, let me go back to 1969 and watch Woodstock or something.
That'd be fun.
Would
I'd
be
dig
fun.
that.
So, Chuck, do you have anything that you want to kind of promote? I know I saw you have some classes coming up that you're taking enrollment for.
I do. I teach. I usually teach. Okay, we've got 5 classes now. We've got the business of voiceover that Andy Field teaches, and that teaches you all the ins and outs of where do I audition, how do I set up my stuff, how do I market myself, where do I get clients. And then I've got an improv class taught by Jonathan Pitts, who's a world famous improviser from Chicago. He started the Chicago International Improv Festival. Carlisle DePriest is a Shakespeare expert. She teaches a Shakespeare class.
Wow.
I teach the masterclass dialects, sort of the techniques I use to get through life.
Yeah.
And then a demo engineering class with Jose Sandoval from Funimation. So we teach you how to engineer your own demo. It's got a writing component to it. So we either 1 month it's a character demo, the next month it's a commercial demo. We have copywriters come in from my wife's advertising agency,
Wow.
talk about the process of copywriting, and we have a whole system for creating the demo based on what your voice sounds like. So yeah, we're busy with a lot of the teaching right now for sure.
So do you think it's ever too late to get into voice acting? Like, I'm 30. I know Joe here is 30.
Yeah.
No, it's never too late. Look, it's not a job that you have to commit an ungodly amount of money or an ungodly amount of time to. I mean, you can commit, if you wanted to do it super pro from home, you could drop 1,000, you could drop 500 and probably be pretty good. But if you wanted to go super duper pro, you drop 6,000 or something crazy like that. And then you are a studio, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just the amount of time you put into auditioning or finding clients. There's an explosion of online education, e-learning, companies needing content, because content is king right now. And so if it's never too late.
Before we get too far along, we just want to take a pause to let you take your time to sort of introduce your own episode. So
Sure, absolutely.
do like your name a character you like, and then say you're listening to Two Dads and a Podcast, and we'll chop it up and throw it at the beginning of everything.
Possibly in a voice of that character.
All right, I gotcha. Any requests?
I mean,
No.
we both love Hiei and Android 17. Pilaf
right.
is fun. I mean, each word is a different character. How's that?
Sure. Just make it a challenge. Here. Let me do it. This is Chuck Huber. I am a voice actor. I do the voice of, Android 17 or Hiei, Dr. Stein. Oh, Emperor Pilaf too. And you're listening to Two Dads and a Podcast.
Hey, this is Felix, and you've been listening to the Two Dads and a Podcast interview series. For more content, like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitch, and everywhere podcasts are available. To help us bring you more of these amazing interviews, you can support us on our Patreon. Just follow the links below, and thanks for watching.